Hey guys, it is Info Girl. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to talk about three credit cards for people with bad credit, low credit, no credit, or people trying to rebuild after mistakes. And I really wanted to make this video because I know how frustrating rebuilding credit can feel, especially when you keep getting denied, your score is low, collections are showing up, or you feel like no bank wants to approve you for anything. Now, before we start, I want to make something very clear. These cards are not magic. No credit card is going to instantly fix your credit overnight. What actually builds your score is payment history, keeping your utilization low, consistency, and patience. So in this video, we're going to break down the credit score requirements, highest limits, deposits, fees, who should apply, who should avoid these cards, and how to actually use these cards the correct way to help you build your credit. Let's go ahead and get right onto it. Before we even get into these credit cards, you need to understand how these cards actually help your credit. Your FICO score is mainly based on payment history, utilization, age of accounts, inquiries, and your credit mix. The biggest factors are payment history and utilization. So 35% divided by or plus 30% is 65%. That means around 65% of your score mainly comes from paying on time and keeping your balances low. So if you get approved for one of these cards and max it out, miss payments, or carry a huge balance, your score can drop. But if you use the card lightly, pay on time, keep your balances low, that positive history can show up and slowly help your credit profile improve. That's the real truth about rebuilding credit. The first card is Open Sky Plus Secured Visa. Now, one thing that makes this card popular is many people like it because it does not require a traditional credit check for approval. That's a huge reason why people with damaged credit, or if they have collections, maybe a bankruptcy, or very, very low credit scores, sometimes look into these cards. Now, since it's a secured card, you usually provide a refundable security deposit. That deposit becomes your credit limit. So let's just say if your deposit is $300, $300 is your limit. Now, secured cards can honestly be one of the best ways to start rebuilding because lenders have less risk. Now, from what people usually report, many users with a credit score below 500, limited credit, or no credit still may qualify. Now, let's talk about the utilization because this matters a lot. If your limit is $300 and you spend $280, that is about 93%. That looks very risky. Even if you pay later, you want to try to keep your utilization under 30%, but honestly, if you know me, you know I'm going to say under 10% is even better. That means on a $300 limit, you may want to stay around 20 to 30 or even maybe $40. Now, who is this card best for? I would say people who are rebuilding, people getting denied elsewhere, or people who need a fresh start. Who should avoid this card? People expecting huge rewards, travel perks, or giant limits because this is more of a rebuilding tool. The next one is the prepaid credit card. Now, this card is different from traditional credit cards. Prepay is known for focusing more on paycheck linked payments and helping people build payment history. Now, a lot of people look into this card because some users report no hard inquiry during certain pre-qualification stages, and it's aimed towards helping people build credit. Now, this card works differently than traditional secured cards. Instead of a huge security deposit, the system may connect to direct deposits, income, and payment scheduling. Now, obviously, approval still depends on your income, account history, and your overall credit profile. But many beginners and rebuilding users become interested because they may feel it's more accessible. Now, let's be honest, this is not usually the card people will get for massive limits, luxury travels, or huge rewards. This is more about establishing history, payments, consistency, and responsible management. Now, one thing I want viewers to understand, just because a company markets towards bad credit does not mean people should overspend. And honestly, that's where people get trapped at. Building trust with lenders, improving habits, and eventually qualifying for stronger cards later. Now let's talk about one of the most popular beginner cards, Capital One Platinum Secure. Honestly, a lot of people start their rebuilding journey with Capital One. As you guys might know, I have done so. One reason people like this card, Capital One often has a pre-approval system where people can check offers before officially applying. Now, the initial pre-check is usually a soft inquiry. But if you officially move forward with the application, a hard inquiry may still happen. That is very important to understand. Now, credit score wise, many people approved for this card are usually rebuilding their credit, newer to credit, or around the mid 500 range and up. But your full profile matters, not just your credit score. Banks also look at late payments, collections, and your utilization, your existing debt, and recent inquiries. Now, one thing people love about this card, some users may qualify for a lower deposit requirement, sometimes $49, $99, or $200, depending on qualification. Now, again, please do not max out these starter cards. If your limit is $200 and you spend $195, that is about 97.5%. That can hurt your utilization badly. Instead, keep your balances low and always make on-time payments. Now, honestly, which card is best depending on your situation? If you struggle getting approved, have very damaged credit, or want a secured rebuilding route, the Open Sky secured card may interest you. If you want something paycheck focused or are interested in other ways of building your credit, Pure Pay may interest you. Or if you want more mainstream rebuilding card and like pre-approval tools, Capital One Secured is extremely popular. Now, personally, I always tell people don't focus on getting approved, focus on low utilizations, on time payments, patience, and responsible habits. Because that is what eventually leads to higher limits, better credit cards, lower interest rates, and stronger credit scores. But overall, all three of these cards can potentially help someone rebuild credit if it is used correctly. The biggest mistake people make is thinking this card fixes their credit score. Over time, it does. Your habits fix your credit score. The truth. So hopefully this video helped y'all understand how these cards work realistically, expectations, and how to actually rebuild your credit the smart way. If you found this video helpful, make sure that you like, subscribe, turn on your notification, and comment below. Which of these cards would you try? I would love to hear from you all. Until next time, I will see you all in the next video. Bye!